Friends, Romans, countrymen, good morning. So I'm probably going to have the fortune of saying good morning for the last time in this day. So, good morning, everybody. Thank you. Sounds better. So, what are we going to talk about today? The flavor of the day definitely seems to be data science and data analytics. That's the theme of the summit. But I'm going to move a little bit away from the topic and just take that one word that is common to these two things, which is data. Okay? Now, in this day, today, while people are talking about data being transformed to information, information being transformed to outcome, why you must be thinking that this guy is pulling us all down and bringing back us to data? Because now that's the most essential thing which drives analytics and analytics outcome. And that is really why we need to talk a little bit about data before we jump into analytics and data science. Okay? Because all that glitters in the analytics world is also not gold. There are mishaps that happens, projects go wrong, and we will go and look into some of these examples. This is what Forbes says. One of the key reasons why analytics and BI projects across the globe has really failed is because of data quality and the maturity of the data. Okay. Another one. And let me tell you, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, almost 60 to 65% of BI projects and analytics projects so far has actually failed. Not because of any technical reasons. There was no problem in the technology, there was no problem in the algorithm. But it is the data that was going in. If that is wrong, all the outcome is definitely going to go wrong. But end result, the customer did not get what they were looking for. You as a business manager who supported an analytics initiative could not deliver to your organization the commitments that you made. So this is how we can see that how data really impacts BI and analytics projects across the globe. So before we move on, let's look at a very small video to get some. This is what is called deluge of data, as Honorable Principal Secretary was really talking about. There's huge amount of data out there. Organizations on today's date are not only relying on data that is being generated within the enterprise, but they are looking at data beyond that enterprise. And to make sense out of it, there has to be a lot of discipline, a lot of strategies involved in terms of how you actually manage the data in a long run, and how do you really make sense out of it in a sustainable basis, okay? Because it's not a one-time thing. So let's ask some questions to ourselves. All of us here, either we are a solutions owner, or we are a practitioner, or we are a part of the business who is using analytics today, okay? So as an analytics solution owner or a provider, how much of this data do you really own? The answer is no, none. You don't own any one of it. Now if this data has got a problem, how do you fix something that you do not own? Because nobody is going to allow you to touch that data. So how are you going to fix that? But you are dependent on that data for doing everything that you need to do. And if this data is not fixed, how does your project succeed? It doesn't, right? But do you know that who owns this data? Because if you have to now really go into the root cause and solve this problem, you have to go and seek help, support from somebody to help you get this data fixed. But for that, you first have to know who owns this data. And what if this data is originated outside, say somewhere from social media? So these are the challenges that we all have to think about, okay? So let's talk about a concept called data governance, okay? And I've just taken this definition from Wikipedia, okay? So basically it is a process which helps an organization understand that data is an asset which is probably far more valued than what the organization has in a bank, okay? But this asset has to be managed throughout the enterprise, so that this data can be trusted and people are made accountable for that data. And that's the definition of data governance. But this definition holds true for only data which is being generated within the enterprise. Now what happens in a big data kind of a scenario where most of this data is being originating outside the enterprise? What's big data? So definitely pools of big data are originated. Now, big data, by definition, when you look at this data, it does not have a structure. It's unstructured. So first it has to be explored so that meanings can be derived out of that. And then only it can be used. Now what's the challenge? How can this data be modeled until and unless it is explored? So it's a chicken and egg problem, a catch-22 kind of a situation. I don't know the structure. I don't know how to model it. How do I know that how to store it and how to manage it? To get meaningful business information from big data, semantic analysis has to be done, and then it has to be rendered into conceptual models or ontologies. But this variety itself introduces a lot of risk in terms of security. So when this data is coming in to your organization from outside, who ensures that which data is safe, which data is not safe, and what to do with that data, and how long have to keep it? Like we all talk about take data from social media to understand consumer, customer sentiment. There are so many places where this data you can get it from. So which are the places where you're going to go to? What is the rationale behind choosing Facebook over something else? And how much data am I going to take in? So all this question, somebody needs to really figure out, and that is what is called big data governance, which is a bit different from data governance, but something which is becoming more and more important in today's world. Let's dig a bit deeper. So whoever the person is who's supposed to manage and handle data, what is it that that person has to deal with? Somebody he has to measure the utilization of this data asset. Because if you are calling it an asset, it has to be utilized. Has to think about, do I need big data governance? What kind of big data I'm going to have in this organization? Okay, today, tomorrow, 5 years down the line. What level of automation is required to manage this data? Which of these data assets needs a different kind of a security mechanism than what I'm probably using today? What do I do with this digital data? Data governance or information governance? Another word that has cropped up. Go and do a Google, you'll find this. Confusing at times to really understand where the difference lies. How do I monetize these assets? How do I make money out of it? How do I manage data migrations from my legacy systems? How do I ensure quality? And what to do with everyday new regulations that are cropping up. Okay, because government agencies, everybody is coming up with these regulations that this is what you cannot do. You cannot take your customer's data and sell it to somebody else. You cannot give it to a pizza company, a telephone company cannot get the data to a pizza company telling them that who are the people who is calling Pizza Hut. It's not so easy. There are privacy laws which are coming up in the country as well. So whoever is this person is, who has been given the mandate to manage data, has to really figure all these things out. So who is supposed to do that? The first person that comes into the mind, techie guy, the geeky techie guy, the CIO. But let's understand what a CIO's responsibilities are. Continuous delivery of IT services, manage IT risks, coordinate and facilitate requirements for new technology. Already a lot in this guy's plate. And now you are telling this guy to also understand the meaning of data, understand what it is supposed to do, and manage it. IT by definition is just a custodian of data. They are not supposed to understand the meaning of data. Even they do, that's fine. So CIO's responsibility is managing cost and operating efficiency and applications and infrastructure. Data does not come into the CIO's mandate. But if you have to manage data, you have to have somebody responsible for generating value from information, manage data risk, provide governance, and ensure compliance. When you add all these things together, that becomes information management. Okay? And are these managed today? There are no centralized management. They are mostly managed in silos today, and no content guidelines or policies. So that's how a new role has now come up. And that role is called, so another C-level guy brushing shoulder with the other C-level people that is now already there, it's called the Chief Data Officer, or alternatively it's called the Chief Digital Officer. People have now realized that data, since data is an asset, and it's a complex one, somebody is a custodian, the other party understands the meaning. The person who understands the meaning does not understand how the data is modeled. So there has to be somebody else who has to now take the responsibility of data, ensure that it is usable, ensure it is governed properly, ensure it is managed properly, ensure that it can be utilized, and ensure it can be monetized. And that is why this role has come up, which is called Chief Data Officer, who, with a team of their own, does this. And a CDO does not report to a CIO mostly. A CDO is a peer to a CIO, works in tandem, in collaboration with the CIO of the organization. I don't know how much of it is visible. A lot of organizations, so in India it's still new. Not many organizations I at least know of who have taken up this CDO kind of a profile. Same is true for many places in Middle East. But I've started seeing Middle East introducing CDOs. But there are a lot of organizations on today's date, especially in US, in UK, and in other parts of the globe. Yesterday I was talking to Australia. So organizations have started realizing the value of this role, the need of this role, and have given a mandate to a separate lady or a gentleman who is now going to take up the mantle of the CDO role. Okay? And if you look at this, there are large brands today who have already appointed CDO. So this is not new, but this has to now also get introduced in countries like India, where it is going to be a complete explosion of data very, very soon. It has already begun. Now with the introduction of Reliance Jio and all that, you're going to see more and more data coming in. And there has to be a different way of managing this. So what's the mandate of this role? Leveraging data, enrichment of data, monetization of data, protection of data, and upkeepment of data. So basically, now you're going to finally find out who is your audience. If you're going to try to go and sell an analytics solution, who is the person to whom you should taking it to? I don't know, we were talking yesterday in a closed forum that many a times we go to customers and try to tell them that we do analytics. The customer says that, yeah, we need analytics. You ask the next level of questions. What do you need in analytics? The customer says that, no, I need my data to be visualized properly. I need a drill down. I need an interaction. Is that analytics? No. It's visualization. Analytics is something else. So there are a lot of confusions also today in the differences between what is BI, what is data warehouse, what is analytics, what is analysis. What is predictive, what is prescriptive, what is descriptive. Okay? So the person who is the closest to the data will now be given the mandate of making more and more meaning out of the data. So a CDO will be the customer for you who will understand what exactly can be done with data. So enterprise analytics, data governance, data stewardship, having an enterprise-wide data architecture so that the data is organized properly, and data development is going to be the mandates of the CDO role. So while we were all talking, saying that, okay, so now I think we are all safe. We know we are done with all kinds of data. So we know what is enterprise data. We know what is big data. Suddenly comes this new one, which is now being called dark data. So if you look at it, so it's being said that the data, there's a lot of data out there which we do not even know what meaning can be derived out of it. It's just really the unknown unknowns. And that is also something that now needs to be dealt with. That multiplies the complexity. Okay. So I hope I have been able to give you a perspective about how important data really is from an organization standpoint. So quick takeaways before we leave. It requires separate emphasis. It is not an IT problem. Number two, help establish data governance, accountability, and ownership. You as analytics guys, you also need to go and educate everybody that you are talking to, helping them understand that how important data is, and so that your analytics projects does not fail. Include big data in the governance endeavor. Educate, inform profits about the role of a chief data officer. Very, very important. Take it back to your organizations, talk to your organizations, and upgrade your data management standards and paradigms to keep up with the digital world. Okay. Last but not the least, data is the fuel to a digital world. So if digital is an engine, data is the fuel to it. It's an asset to the organization, and analytics and data science cannot succeed without data being of the right quality. And that is why data is so important to this entire thing. So that's about it. That's my LinkedIn profile and my phone number. You can always touch base with me. There are several articles that we write on these subjects, the subjects of digital. I'd definitely like to get your feedback on them. That keeps me going. Questions? So everything clear about data? Yeah. Please go ahead.
Understanding the importance of data and the CBO sort of people's role to merge that
I don't know whether I got your question right or not. What you are trying to say is that with the demand of change in the organizations now, how it is going to get managed, right? Definitely, it's transformation or change is nothing only particular to digital or data. Like any kind of change that you need to bring in an organization, it needs mandates. There has to be a tone at the top from the organization management, and people have to fall in place. And fall in place not out of choice, but by choice, so that they believe that this change is going to be helpful for the organization. Then only they will contribute, then only they will work together. So that is the primary thing that is always important. It doesn't matter whether it's digital change, digital transformation, or some other form of transformation. But at the same time, I think the organizations, the industry has at least reached to that level where people have now realized that many of these changes can be data driven. So they are not heuristically decided. It is not an empirical formula anymore. So let's look at data. Let's use data to really understand how to do the changes and what to do. Since the time that belief has come, people have started taking now data seriously. And one of the change management initiatives in many of these organizations is to see that how this data can be sanitized, can be managed well, so that it can really be used and can become the driver for change. I hope that answers your question.